Hi, everyone. Next in the series of how to shop on different places online where you can shop for handmade products, I'm specifically thinking about handmade, right? Is Etsy. Now, Etsy is the elephant in the room because as an Etsy seller, I know that it has changed a lot over the time that I've been on it, which is about 13, 14 years, somewhere around in there. I think it's maybe 16. I don't know. But it's changed a lot. And it used to be far more handmade, far more, it was smaller, number one. But then they expanded the definition of handmade to include print on demand products, which they can be designed. They are designed by people, but it's much more of a process where someone designs the item and then a factory makes it when it's ordered. Okay, so you can get things that are personalized, and this is an example like how Zazzle and Spoonflower also work. And I've talked about that in this series. I sell POD. All right. I have some products on POD websites. I personally don't, I consider it designed. And Etsy recently changed their definition of designed by, created by. They took the word handmade completely off of the platform behind the scenes. They don't use the word handmade anymore. And their rationale for that is that people don't shop for handmade specifically. They want special. That's what they're looking for when they're thinking about something handmade. So Etsy doesn't use the word handmade internally at all. But people still think of it as a handmade platform because a lot of the people who sell on it are independent artisans. So let's go over and take a look. I'm going to show you a few things that you might not have noticed about Etsy. And as a longtime Etsy seller, I'm aware of all the changes that have happened, and I can answer any questions that you have if you want to post them. So let's go over and take a look, and I will show you a few things. The first interesting thing about how Etsy approaches customers, right, is that they really are pushing the gifts. And they had a big advertising campaign that started, I think it was the beginning of 2024. They rolled it out with a gift mode ad during the Super Bowl. This is gift mode. And because we're coming up on the holiday season, there are a lot of gifts, being pushed. What Etsy wants to do for customers or to customers, whichever your perspective is they want to kind of lead you down the path of you not having to search for anything and just buying what Etsy shows you. If you start clicking on these things, which people will, then that's what's going to happen. Okay. So let's say that I want to personalize, or I'm on here looking for whatever. I might not be looking for a gift. I might be looking for something else, but everything that they're going to show you is a gift because that's really the emphasis that Etsy has. They're not talking about handmade. They're still using that as an advertising bargaining chip to lure people to the site. Like you can get things crafted just for you. Well, you can, but you can also get a lot of stuff that came straight from a factory in China. Okay, so that's something that you just need to be aware of. And like I said in another video, the best way to make sure that you're actually buying something handmade by a person, if that's what is important to you, is to go to the listings of something that you like. Okay, so this is my Etsy shop that's currently open. Let's scroll down to the bottom and you can see where I have added all my, okay, so this is all my information. If you see this, if you go to my website and this opens up my website, buy from here. Don't shop on Etsy. Okay, buy from someone's website. If they have an Etsy shop and they have it listed, it's okay. All right. I know that people are worried about shopping on individual websites, but this is the best way to support an artist who is making their own products. And you can tell a lot from a website. If you go to a website and everything looks like it's made straight from a factory, then you can make your decisions based on that. But look for this social media stuff just to see if people have websites. I have extra websites. I've got a lot of history going back online. And that's basically validating that I am making this stuff myself. You can send me messages on Etsy if you're not sure. It's very tricky on Etsy these days. Okay. But that's one way to find out. Okay. The other way is, well, okay, it's not really another way to find out, but the best thing to do is to investigate by shop on the shop level. If you find a seller whose products you like, go to see if they have a website and buy from the website. Don't buy it on Etsy because they pay more fees on Etsy, I guarantee you. People are very happy to get traffic to their websites because it's a lot harder to do than to get traffic from a marketplace. All right. The other thing that you need to know about Etsy is if you do click on one of these, It's going to take you down a path. And you can see this recently viewed and more. They're going to start showing you things immediately after you click on things based on what you've already looked at. Here's the algorithm coming in. So they're going to start limiting what you can see if you're only clicking on things, because that's how Etsy works. They want to show you things that they think you're going to buy. So let's say I'm clicking on personalized gifts. I do want to show you one thing. Again, here's the gift mode. But anytime that you click on one of the things on the homepage in order to shop, you're going to get filtered results. Okay, so first we have personalizable, which makes sense because I did click on personalized gifts. So everything in this search result is going to be personalizable. They're also going to be Etsy's picks. Now you might think, okay, this is a weird thing. You might think that these are better results because it's Etsy's picks. But basically, what this does is it kicks out any person who doesn't have an Etsy's pick badge, and nobody knows how they choose those. So Etsy's picks are going to be filtered for every search result that I've seen so far that starts on the homepage. And if you take that out, you're going to see a lot more choices, and you're probably going to get a wider variety of search results. And if you want to stick with the Etsy's picks, that's fine, but it really doesn't mean anything. There were people who were saying that they were listing a brand new item and Etsy put an Etsy's picks badge on it. Come on, that's ridiculous. They don't have time to even scan something to see what the quality is. And they're not looking at quality, they're looking at sales. Etsy thinks it's a good product because it looks like the Etsy aesthetic, which is very bland. It's very neutral, it's very beige. So they pick it as an Etsy's pick, and then it gets to the top of search results, and then it stays there because it sells because it's at the top of search results. It's very, it's very tricky. But it's the same thing if you click on any of the gift mode results, it's going to give you screened results, and you're not going to see everything. You're going to start seeing the same thing everyone else sees because that's how Etsy works now. So what I would suggest is to ignore all this stuff. If you want to see better search results, it's a wider variety, and just type in what you're looking for. And the first thing that let's say I'm going to type in, let's do cake decorations because that's what I sell. First thing at the top is Etsy's picks. See, they're really trying to screen for that. And it creates a cycle. The way that the Etsy algorithm works is if something sells, they shoot it back up to the top of the top page of the first page of results, and then people buy it again, and then it just becomes a bestseller that way. Not because it's really better than anything else. It just happens to be at the top of the page, and people don't scroll down. Okay. It's very irritating. All right, so this is the search results, but see, if I had gone through the gift mode, whatever category these would fall under, I'm going to see totally different things. So I would suggest that if you want a better, more variety of search results, that's not the same thing everyone else is going to see on Etsy, that you do a search for what you're looking for and stay away from the click, click, click that they want you to click on because they're shooting you down a path of whatever. Okay. You can also filter if you want to filter for location. You don't want to have things shipped internationally. You can do that. You can filter for all of these things. I think on Etsy, you need to be very careful if you are looking for handmade. If you're just looking for whatever, if you're looking for something, you can probably find it on Etsy. Okay. If you're looking for handmade specifically and you want something that's made by a real artist, go to the shop website, go to the profile, look for a website and see if they have another web presence online where you can find their products without having to shop through a third party, which would be like Etsy or Amazon or eBay or whatever. But the best way to support people who are selling handmade is to buy directly from them. And you have to look a little bit to find that. So anyway, leave me any questions and I will be happy to answer them. And I will post a link to my Artisan Shopper directory, which is my website, in this video. I'll post it in all my videos, but go check the description of the video to find that, because I do screen for the people who are on that website to actually be making their own products. All right, I will talk to you later.